there's more to life than just going home and being under your roof.
What was once a small town filled with farmland has become a sprawling city. Knoxville is growing at an unforeseen rate, with more people moving in every day. As the city grows, it brings more change and more urban development.
Knoxville is very unique when it comes to parks and open spaces and green spaces. We are, especially now in 2023, we are going through a boom, right? People are drawn and attracted to Knoxville for the society and the culture that we've created. Visit Knoxville has what city is it? It's an artsy city, it's a music city, it's a cultural city, it's historical, it is all of these things. Nowhere else that we can find anywhere in this country can you have thousands of miles of trails and open space within 10 minutes of downtown Knoxville.
The current population is almost 193,000. That's nearly a 1.7% increase from last year. With this growth in population size, urbanization is the unavoidable consequence. The people are urbanized, the businesses are urbanized, and now there's even urban forestry.
So urban forestry essentially is the process of managing trees in an urban environment, anywhere from maintaining, like pruning or removing hazardous trees, to planting new trees, to improving soil conditions, making space for trees, and more importantly, just communicating and informing the public about issues involved around trees.
Urban forestry is key to Knoxville. It provides a way to preserve the city's green spaces, which is critical for keeping some of Knoxville's beauty. But it's more than the beauty. Green spaces can keep the city cooler and lower risks of flooding that come from concrete expanses. Right now, Knoxville is lucky with what it can call green space.
Green spaces is essentially those areas of the city or a community that has green vegetation or green space that is of high quality. So the city of Knoxville has about 40% tree cover. Most of that's on private property.
Knox County Parks and Recreation, we own and operate over 56 parks and open spaces. They range from baby pocket parks that are less than an acre to hundreds of acres of parks. Combined with the city of Knoxville, they have over 90 parks. I mean, you're talking thousands of miles of trail that serve such a wide, eclectic group of people.
Now, we didn't have that many large areas of undeveloped farmland. We had a few, and I tried to acquire them. And they're now the urban wilderness in South Knoxville and Ash Park in northwest Knoxville, the Holston River Park out east, because if you had a space of 50 or 80 acres, if you don't move to preserve it, some developer will get a hold of it and become a new subdivision or shopping mall, at which point, obviously, it won't ever be a park.
So tree canopy and trees, they have been shown to show that they provide a slew of amenities for the public. I tend to classify these in three different ways. You've got your social benefits, you got your environmental benefits, and you got your economic benefits. Thinking about how green space in a, let's say, commercial setting attracts people to come use that business or a place where they will go shop and spend money at. We do know that trees and green space help build that component to the experience, as opposed to like one shopping center that has no trees and another shopping center that has a lush amount of landscaping. From the environmental benefits, these are the easy ones. Clean water, clean air, abatement of the heat island effect. Those are things that we do know that trees help take care of and help contribute to our community. Now we've got this huge slew of social benefits that people are starting to see, talking about human health and how green space is important in those aspects. So talking about like a greenway that has trees or has nature associated with it where people want to go out and be part of and get them outside and be more active, all the way to just the ability to soften that whole concrete aspect of of an urban environment. Green space softens that, lower stress levels. You have lower stress levels, you have less crime rate and things like that that kind of come with it.
The natural beauty of Knoxville's parks and green spaces have become a draw for people. However, bringing in people is also putting these spaces in danger. As more land gets developed, the more the natural areas get fragmented.
We're pretty fragmented. We still have a lot of our slopes and hillsides that are continuous and still are well supported. But, you know, if you were to look at Knoxville from 40 years ago, where, you know, there's a reason why our hillsides and slopes hadn't been developed yet. Technology and things like that have changed that, and the pressure of needing to move into new areas has put more stress and pressure on those areas. And so, yes, I would say those areas that we still are contingent and still have a lot of areas that aren't fragmented are now starting to see a little bit more pressure.
One of the threats that we face, obviously with urbanization, is anything from the outside, right? It's understanding that you are welcome here. We want you to be here. We want you to understand the assets that you have here, but they come at a cost. And that cost is, from a corporation standpoint, if we bring in 100,000 more people, but we don't increase our parks and open spaces, then the value of what you have and what you build goes down.
Just because you have trees and grass, you know, what is the actual quality? You know, when you start looking at the makeup of what we have on public and private property, a good portion of that is undesirable, invasive plants that are not really, I mean, they have some values, obviously. They do some of the environmental benefits. They filter out sediment from getting into the water, you know. But the problem is, like, long term, is that stuff going to be suitable for the community? Like, if we're taking over and pretty much, you know, kudzu, for example, a hillside's taken over by kudzu. Yeah, it has some minor benefits, but overall, our native species and native plants that were here originally do a better job. They're more conducive to the wildlife that we have. So those are the things and threats that we're going to have by invasive species.
Once you create a park, it'll stay. Parks are very popular, and I've never heard of a mayor ever trying to downsize the parks or sell them off. And if he or she tried it, they wouldn't be mayor for very long.
Even though the struggles continue, there is still hope for Knoxville's greenery. Places like Iams and South Knoxville are guaranteed to be protected land. Knoxville is also taking more initiatives to make sure the parks and Tennessee's natural wonders stay intact.
We have just now gone through our Parks Master Plan, which is our 5-year plan for our department at Knox County Parks and Recreation. And one of the things that we have found in our master plan studies is that 55% of the people that are coming to Knox County are coming into the unincorporated parts of the county. So that is everybody on the east side, the north side, the west side, with the exception of Farragut, and then on the south. So as Knox County, we have to understand that Knoxville is the hub and has been for a really long time.
Knoxville will continue to grow and change. And with that change, it is vital to remember to maintain the green spaces still found in Knoxville, or we will lose something invaluable.
For us, parks and open spaces, they are that kind of heartbeat to people and the memory bank that they have, that without parks and green spaces, where do your core memories, happy, sad, where do those take place?
As long as we work to preserve this place, though, there will always remain a patchwork of green.